Hello, my name is Allyson Graf, and I'm the 2021 recipient of the George Goedel Faculty Mentor Award in the Department of Psychological Science at Northern Kentucky University. I'd first like to thank the students who nominated me for this honor, as well as congratulate our new inductees to Psi Chi and our graduating seniors. In preparing for today, I spent time reflecting on my own academic journey and lessons learned when deciding what advice I wanted to impart. I came to an interesting conclusion about myself during this process that is now the focus of my speech. So, allow me to take you back to the early 2000s. I was a great undergraduate student, top of my class, like many of you, involved in research, on track to graduate early, all while holding down a part time job. I felt on top of my life, and I was doing it all on my own, or so I thought. Looking back now from the other side of the lectern, I realize I missed out on a lot, in part because, as it turns out, I may have been a good student, but I was a horrible mentee. Fiercely independent, stubborn, resistant, a real know it all. We all know the type. I can vividly remember advice that was given to me by wonderful teachers and advisors, people who I greatly admired. And what did I do? I blatantly ignored it. I dismissed it with a thanks, but no thanks. I've got it all taken care of and figured out. I thought that I knew more than they did. Now, why do I remember advice that I never took? Well, a few hard lessons have served to remind me that sometimes other people really do know what they're talking about. So, most people that hear this might chalk up my story to youthful ignorance. We have to learn that we don't have to have all the answers all of the time, that we should value the advice of others who have walked these paths and have perspectives that we just don't. But perhaps most importantly, we need to see the lessons that can be gained from falling short, which is a matter tied to perspective and not age. Changing our take on accepting help or failure itself is tough, especially when so many of our cultural values and daily routines uh, they require or expect independence, self-sufficiency, and optimal performance. I can empathize with anyone who gets stressed out by the idea of giving a wrong answer, making a mistake, choosing poorly, or looking stupid or unfit. So many of us fear judgment or ridicule, disappointing ourselves or others. But if we can strive to cultivate humility, we can better manage that stress. Humility really is the key here. As scientists, you're already familiar with this concept. It's a core value that's embedded in our scientific method. Theories must be falsifiable. Peer review and replication is meant to keep us honest. Our results support, but never prove, our conclusions. Science is a self correcting process because we recognize and learn from our experience. Now, we need to show ourselves that same courtesy. Humility as a trait is defined as the ability to honestly reflect on our limitations and abilities while simultaneously showing ourselves and others some grace. This translates to the ability to learn from your own experience, even when it's uncomfortable or unpleasant, the foresight to recognize the worth and value of others' experiences as different from our own, and accepting imperfection as normal and human. Humility promotes curiosity, open mindedness, and lifelong learning. It also promotes building social connections by holding less stringent expectations of others, showing more patience, and being more compassionate to others and ourselves. Humility takes work, though. It really does. It goes against our self serving biases. Sometimes we get stuck or dwell on the lessons that we learn, and it can be perceived as weak or soft. But to practice humility is anything but weak. To practice humility is to be brave. It's brave to know our limits, to ask for help, to admit that we don't know something, but commit to learning about it. It's brave to keep our egos in check and not underestimate others. It's brave to put ideas out there and be receptive to feedback, to accept fair criticism and see it as opportunity for growth. It's brave to give yourself a pass when you have an off day. We all do. And it's brave to be the person in the room that allows others to feel seen and heard. So, my takeaway that I'm going to leave you with here is be brave enough to truly get to know yourself and share that with others, but also be kind enough to allow yourselves and others to flourish. Thank you.